Hey guys, welcome to episode number 18 of the Hold On to Your Butts podcast. Today on the show, we're joined by our good friend John as our studio guest, and we discuss, honestly, not that much. It's kind of a quiet show news-wise this week, but we do play a pretty interesting game of scenarios, so make sure to stick around for that. Also, quick plug, make sure to subscribe and rate us on iTunes, Stitcher, however you listen to your podcast. In the meantime, sit back, crack open a cold one, and enjoy episode number 18.
What you think?
Okay, hello and welcome to episode number 18 of the Hold On to Your Butts podcast. We're so glad you've joined us.
Is it 18 or 19?
Again. It's 18. I just checked. I actually checked this.
You actually checked? Okay.
I actually checked. Episode number 18 of the Hold On to Your Butts podcast, brought to you, as always, by Signature's Millstone Tavern in Gahanna, Ohio. The number one place to go drink when you want to drink and you have to drink. Because sometimes you have to drink. When you have to drink, make sure.
See somebody.
Or go see our friendly bartenders at the Millstone Tavern, named Signatures, in Gahanna. Guys, if you're going to submit an ad to us, make sure you write it. Because otherwise it's going to end up like this.
It's great.
Okay, guys, let's start off with some bad news. You may remember from episode 17 last time.
We're starting off
A good friend of ours has died. A good friend of ours has died, and that friend's name is Truth Telling Buddy. Truth Telling Buddy died in a horrible way when he said that he was going to watch Jurassic Park. We had a whole skit planned for this. Now, we don't ask much of our on-show talent here. We don't ask much, but all we did was say, buddy, you got to spend an hour and 20 minutes and watch the original Jurassic Park.
For his own good.
For your own good.
Wait, it's only an hour and 20 minutes?
Usually movies are.
Was it direct?
Seen the original Jurassic Park?
Exactly.
Oh, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, that voice that you hear in the background is
God.
our good friend John. John is sitting in with us today on the podcast and has automatically figured out that it's time to shame Buddy. How like, you literally had one job. You had so long to do it. Like, give me your nightly routine. Let's start there.
My nightly routine.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
I work, and then I go to the gym, and then I come home and I make dinner, and usually I fall asleep on the couch before I really get to amount to anything that day.
That day?
And then...
You said amount to anything. You didn't do like shit at work. Like,
Well,
nothing.
no. I work at work, but I mean just like personally. So, yeah. So then repeat that about 5 times a week, and then I was gone for the weekend at a wedding, and here we are. Let's make it a bi-weekly thing.
No.
Oh, you think you're going to do it then? I mean, what?
Because now you got 1 week now. Because if it's bi-weekly...
Oh,
like,
yeah, it's back
you've
down to
got
1 week,
Yeah, now
isn't
you're
it?
down to 1 week. What are you going to do in the first, 13 days to prep for Jurassic Park?
Mentally
Like, why do
prepare
you-
myself.
He's scared.
I think out of this experience, I realized I don't really like watching movies that I don't want to watch necessarily.
What do you mean?
But can't you at least take it from us, your friends? Like, if we say, hey, this is a good movie, it's worth your time, can't you at least use that as like an in route to say, maybe I should spend the time to actually watch it?
You know what?
This movie by Steven Spielberg.
Now that I think about it, when I went to go visit Universal Studios in Hollywood, I went on the Jurassic Park ride. So I could just talk about that.
Oh, God.
Okay, go ahead. 2 minutes.
It was like Splash Mountain at Disney World. You go down a big waterfall.
Okay, that's been about 11 seconds. You got 2 more minutes to fill in this book
That's all I
report.
got, guys.
All right, so now what I need you to do is make up a 2-minute synopsis of what you think Jurassic Park is about. This awkward radio shaming moment is your punishment. So please tell us exactly what Jurassic Park is about. You still have to turn in your report. So this is now your bullshit. Go.
Bullshit Jurassic Park. All right. So,
First, let's start off with the 3 main characters, obviously. What are their names?
the 3 main characters, Penny, Timothy, and Jordan.
Wow.
Okay,
That's
tell
really
me,
close.
what did Penny, Timothy, and Jordan, what do they get into in the movie?
So, they go to Jurassic Park, which is a new theme park where they have dinosaurs, real-life dinosaurs, so people want to go.
So far, so good?
Yep. So they're going to this theme park. They meet the
is wrong.
professor, who's the 4th main character.
Professor.
Old Professor
Bob.
Bob.
Professor Bob.
Yep.
And they're having a great time. And then all of a sudden, one night, it storms. And lightning strikes the electrical fences that hold the dinosaurs in. So they all get out.
We're honestly charting at like a above 60% grade on this so far, right, guys? Like, just a quick stop. Okay, go ahead.
So all dinosaurs get out, and unfortunately, Penny, Timothy Jordan, and
Professor
Bob are in the way of all the dinosaurs. So they have to try to escape the island with dinosaurs chasing them. So, so there are velociraptors. There are...
Yeah, what else is there?
There's a Jeep, and it gets
That's a
caught in a
dinosaur?
tree, and a dinosaur like tries to get in the Jeep. I've seen that part. And a lot of people get eaten, a lot of people die.
Give me some of the... Who are the characters we lost?
Who I think... Oh, I forget. The fat guy who...
He says I forget.
The guy who plays the mailman
You're
on...
making this up, and you said I forget.
The guy who plays the mailman on Seinfeld, doesn't he die?
Oh, Newman.
Newman? Does Newman die?
We're not... Go see the fucking movie.
No, this is your report. You can't, like, stop
Newman
and ask somebody in
dies.
the middle of a test.
Newman dies.
It's like raising
Timothy
his hand.
didn't make it.
Don't forget
Somebody
about
named
Nokia.
Timothy. They can't put him in the
Is one
sequel.
of the boys named Timothy? Is
Yeah,
the
I don't
kid's
think
name
so.
Tim? The kid's name is Tim.
Is it? All right.
Timmy, yeah, I think his name is
Shit,
Timmy.
you're right. The kid's name is actually Tim.
That's
Okay.
right. And then, so eventually a few people escape, and then it's over, and then they have a few sequels.
Who all escapes?
Yeah, it's Tim.
Professor Bob, the woman, because she comes back in number 3, which I've seen. That's all I remember.
Okay, guys, what score are we going to give him on this paper?
I fucking hate Buddy. I'm giving him a 1. I hate him.
I'm not going to give him a 1. I'm going to honestly say that he passed somehow. Like, it was a shitty paper, and he got a bad grade on it. But he obviously, like, has
Passed
seen enough
barely.
of it.
He just
Yeah.
read Wikipedia.
All right, what's my next movie, guys?
He is right about Tim, though.
Yeah,
All right, what's next?
He's right about Tim.
Yeah.
What's,
That girl, the young girl,
Does Tim
in it,
die?
she's a millionaire now.
Yeah, the boy's name is literally Tim.
Yes.
All
You
right.
got one.
I can't believe that.
1 out of 4.
Shot in the dark paid off for him. Fucker.
I'll still watch it eventually.
All right,
Eventually.
so hey, John, give us a good movie that most people should have seen.
Oh, how, like, what are we talking about? Good movie.
Classic, like a movie that we would have watched when we were kids or something like that.
Citizen Kane.
Wow.
That's a good
Whew. Something a little bit more.
best movie
Pop culture.
ever. That is pop culture. That's the best movie.
Is
said
that
ever.
the one with Are You Feeling Lucky, punk?
No, that's
Dirty Harry?
Dirty
Yeah.
Harry.
What's a cowboy movie?
Is that the one? I don't know. I
Oh,
don't know
man,
that one.
buddy.
Okay, well, it's not going to matter. You're not going to watch it.
No, movie E.T.
E.T.
Oh, you know what? I think I've seen
You
most
think?
of that one.
Wow,
Did you know
okay.
that the ride at Universal Studios is the official sequel to that movie?
No.
Yes.
Wow,
Which-
I
which
had no
Universal
idea.
Studios?
It's canon?
And yeah.
The
Like,
ride, if you can't hear
The
John,
director,
the...
Ms. Goldberg,
Yep.
said that the ride at Universal Studios in, that's Florida, right? No, that's California.
Well, they have two. There's one in California,
I
one in
think it's the
Florida.
one in California then, is the closest thing to an official canon sequel to the movie.
Funny, actually.
Fun fact.
So I remember going on that ride when I was a kid, and I laughed about this for years. It's one of those rides where when you get on, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong, remember you can always email us at geeks@hotyb.co. I had a couple of those in a row, and I fucked it up today. But correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that ride, when you got on the ride, you give them your name, your first name, and then E.T. says goodbye to you at the end.
I think so.
So I remember when I was a kid, I went on it with my family when we were visiting Universal Studios, and at the end of the ride, as we're getting off, E.T.'s like, "Bye, Brogan. Bye, Annie. Bye, Emily. Bye, Ginny. Bye, Bob." Like my dad's name got fucked up. It's not my dad's name, and it got fucked up. And I just remember thinking that was literally the funniest thing. I almost peed myself laughing. It's still funny. I think it's still funny.
Is your dad the professor? Professor Bob?
Professor Bob, made famous by Jurassic. God, I fucking hate you, buddy. God damn it. One job. What about Die Hard? That was the other one that was brought up.
Top Gun, Die Hard.
Top Gun or
Goonies.
Die Hard, Goonies. Maybe Goonies. I actually think you would like
He
Goonies.
needs to finish Jurassic Park.
might be scared
you
by
need to
Goonies.
watch it. Like,
All right, how about I just watch a movie and I come back and I report on it?
What?
No, god damn it, buddy. It's like one job. You have one job on this show. We gave you what? You just have to watch
He
one
had,
movie?
he had one job
he had
previously.
he had an old job.
And he
He was
dropped that.
Game Master, and I've done more games than he has.
I was
And
also- I
the
was sound
games that
effects.
you made, I actually made and gave them to you. You've actually made
did.
zero games.
Buddy, are you doing like good at work? Did you have a performance review or anything recently? You get your projects done at work?
yeah.
Fuck, god damn it. All right, moving on. God, I hate you. So that conversation is a nice segue to one of the topics that I wanted to have tonight. I'm curious. What are your guys' like nightly rituals? Like, what do you do when you get home from work? Like that time, like that 5 o'clock time you get home from work, all the way until you go to bed. Like, what do you do? What do you do? Is it the same thing every night? Does it change a bit, or what does that look like? Buddies is apparently get home and sleep.
Yeah, well, on Tuesday nights, I come here at about 8:30 and I get ridiculed by my friends. So,
Well, maybe your friends count on you, and you've broken the trust with your friends. That's also a possibility. I can't even.
You
look
had
at
one
you.
job, buddy.
I can't even look at you. Wyatt, what's your nightly routine? You get home from work.
So I get home, I usually eat, and I put on Twitch while I eat because it's like real easy to just put something on real quick. After I eat, then I usually I have like 5 or 6 friends playing some game on Steam. So I usually join them for a couple hours, and then honestly, I'm up till 2. I don't really have a lot.
You don't go to sleep ever?
Yeah, I go to sleep around 2 o'clock.
It's time to be at work.
I schedule myself to be at work at 9.
Jesus.
So
Crazy, man.
but yeah, I mean, I don't do anything special. If I do have something like on Netflix, like House of Cards or something, like, yeah, I usually binge watch that when I get off work. So it's like no video games, or it's either video games or binge watch something. But right now, since House of Cards is done and Better Call Saul is done, Walking Dead is done, I know Game of Thrones is coming on. I've not seen a Game of Thrones episode, so. But I mean, honestly, I just get home, eat, Twitch, then I play games, and usually have just like Twitch on while I do it, just because I just like to watch it. It's nice to think have in the background.
Yep.
Nothing spectacular.
Fascinating. Blev, what's your? I know. Okay. Blev, what's your
I
nightly
build
ritual?
model rockets,
That'd be cool. I mean, I was just curious. I know it's
and
not.
then I go into the workshop.
My night is nothing exciting. I'm just curious.
And then I cut up my cocaine bricks.
Sure.
Sure.
No. For me, sometimes it just depends on like some nights I get off work, go to the gym. If I don't go to the gym, I come home usually and just turn on Spotify for a little bit, for like maybe like 45 minutes to an hour, just hang out, chill downstairs with my dogs, and eventually go upstairs, probably play some video games, hang out with Kaylee, if my girlfriend Kaylee, if there's nothing else going on, and then usually go to bed around 10:30 or 11.
Cool. Mine is I typically get home, make some dinner, do that kind of thing, hang out with the wife for a while, maybe watch some Netflix. And then my wife always falls asleep like clockwork, like 9 o'clock, and then I can just play video games until probably about midnight or 1, typically. Most nights. Yeah, that was a lame section. Thank you guys so much for
He was super
tuning
excited
in.
about that, but that's all Buddy's fault. We can actually blame that entirely.
Yeah, this
on
whole
Buddy.
section, we were supposed to
We're
have an
not
entire
even supposed to
section right
exist.
now.
Yeah, it wasn't even
that's-
supposed to
It was
exist.
Buddy's movie review, but here we are doing nothing
fill in
of
the
the kind.
spaces.
All right. So, in terms of news, give me that news jingle, Wyatt.
wait, that's mine. You
Yeah.
stole that.
Yeah, you know how that feels when
Well-
you steal my games?
Oh.
Ooh.
Guys, a couple things. Here's the first news story of the day. Now, I don't know if we necessarily care about this game. I mean, I do. I think it's pretty fun. I know, Wyatt, you and I played it 2 years ago. But WWE 2K18. Now, I'm not a huge wrestling fan. I tried to get back into it a couple years back. But WWE 2K18 has now been confirmed to come out on the Nintendo Switch. So, the reason I wanted to bring this up is that this is interesting. Like, this is kind of the second, I would say, outside of FIFA, of, like, interesting titles, like actual titles that are coming to the Switch that are, big-name third-party titles. And they're 2 sports games.
Rocket League
And FIFA. And, and now WWE. So, is this a sign that Switch is going to start... How do I want to phrase this? Is this a sign... Like, are you guys excited about this? Or do you think people are going to be let down because this is going to be a shitty port? And are we going to see that with Switch in general? Because it's just not as powerful as the other consoles. So when you try to put a game that's running like really well on, PlayStation and Xbox One onto a Switch, are you going to be let down because the graphical qualities, you just can't compete. So what do you guys think? Is that a good thing? You excited about it? Not excited?
Do you think it's going to
to
be like a separate game entirely, or is it still going to be the same premise of the?
So from what I heard, at least about FIFA, is that FIFA is going to be like a few years, like last generation's version of FIFA with updated rosters, essentially, that is going to be on the Switch. So I would imagine that's going to be kind of the similar thing for WWE 2K18, But is that cool? Is that good for Nintendo fans? Or I think we talked about it in the podcast not too long ago that, Nintendo, or people who have a Nintendo Switch most likely have some of the other consoles. at least one other primary console. If you're a gamer, like you have an Xbox